What if I told you that the biggest financial decision of your life isn't what you invest in, but whether you invest at all? Because here's the uncomfortable truth most people never hear clearly. If you never invest, you don't just stay where you are. You slowly fall behind, not suddenly, not dramatically, quietly, invisibly, every single year. Most people believe not investing is safe. They think cash in the bank means security. They think avoiding risk is protecting their future. But in reality, they are choosing a different kind of risk, the risk of time working against them. Because while you are not investing, something else is happening automatically in the background. Prices are rising, currency is weakening, and the cost of living keeps climbing like a silent tax on inaction. This is the part nobody emotionally prepares you for. You don't lose money all at once. You lose purchasing power little by little, and that changes everything. Now here's the deeper truth. Investing is not really about getting rich. It's about not getting left behind by the system, because wealth doesn't just come from effort anymore. It comes from ownership to ownership of assets, ownership of equity, ownership of something that grows while you sleep. If you only rely on income from labor, you are tied directly to time. 1 hour worked, 1 hour paid. No exceptions. That is a linear system in a non-linear world. Meanwhile, investors are playing a completely different game. Their money works even when they don't. And over time, that difference becomes massive. Two people can start at the same job, same salary, same intelligence, but 10 or 20 years later, their outcomes look like different realities. Not because one worked harder, but because one built systems and the other only earned wages. And here's the psychological trap. Not investing feels comfortable because nothing is changing today. But wealth is never about today. It is about what survives compounding. And compounding does not reward intention. It rewards action taken early and consistently. There's also a hidden emotional cost most people ignore. When you don't invest, you slowly become more dependent on your job, not less. That creates stress, pressure, fear of losing income, because everything is tied to one source, one employer, one paycheck, one decision away from instability. But investing changes your relationship with money. It gives you distance from survival, thinking. It creates options, and options are the real currency of freedom. Now, think about this logically. If inflation averages just a few percent a year, and your money is sitting still, then your future self is effectively paying for your present hesitation. Every year you wait is not neutral. It is expensive, not in visible loss, but in lost potential. And that's the hardest part to accept, because the cost of not investing doesn't show up on a receipt. It shows up in the life you can't afford later, the travel you delay, the time freedom you never reach, the choices you stop considering. But here's the shift. Once you understand this, investing stops feeling like a strategy and starts feeling like responsibility, not to get rich overnight, but to avoid building a future that feels tight, limited, and reactive. Because in the long run, wealth is not about chasing money. It's about designing a life where money is not constantly chasing you, and that begins with one simple decision most people delay for years. Start participating in the system instead of staying outside it. Because staying out doesn't keep you safe. It just quietly changes where you end up. If you found this perspective useful, consider subscribing for more calm, reality-based financial discussions.